Andy Cohen talks about Lindsay Hubbard RHONY plans. Andy Cohen has spoken out about the possibility of Lindsay Hubbard being on The Real Housewives of New York City. This has been a rumored possibility for a while now. However, the rumor seems to be becoming truer every time it is talked about. Now Andy Cohen is giving some insight into the situation and letting fans know more about it. Keep reading to find out more about this. Lindsay Hubbard doesn't have future on Summer House. Lindsay Hubbard has been on Summer House since season 1. She is one of the OGs in the group. However, her future on the show may be changing. The house in the Hamptons is where the group goes every weekend to party. Now that Lindsay has a baby, this may not be in her cards anymore. However, she realizes this may be an issue and does not know where the future is going to take her. Fans understand her not wanting to take her daughter to a party house every weekend. However, it seems like she will still be popping in and making an appearance. It may not be often, but Lindsay is always going to be a Hamptons girl. Andy Cohen talks about her plans for RHONY. Andy Cohen has addressed the rumors about Lindsay Hubbard joining The Real Housewives of New York City. NYC is where Lindsay spends the majority of her time. She has also always talked about being a housewife. Now she is close with some of the cast due to her entering motherhood and needing other friends who understand being a mom. Fans have seen this coming for a while. However, Andy does not think anything is serious at the moment. So this could just be something that keeps getting brought up in hopes that it will happen. However, it seems that there are no plans for her to be on the show. However, that could easily change in the future. Lindsay's future on reality TV is currently unknown and up in the air. It seems as though Andy has not heard anyone talk seriously about the situation, so he finds it all interesting. This convinces fans that it is just something Lindsay is open to. However, they have not made any decisions to move her shows or let her start her life as a housewife. Viewers are curious to see how Lindsay is going to be on Summer House when she has a baby. Andy Cohen is never one to hold back, and when it comes to Lindsay Hubbard and the future of The Real Housewives of New York City, RHONY, he has plenty to say. The Bravo executive producer and Watch What Happens live host recently sat down for an exclusive chat, addressing rumors, setting the record straight, and teasing some potential shakeups in the RHONY universe. Lindsay Hubbard, RHONY future. Lindsay Hubbard, the outspoken, dynamic Summer House star, has been at the center of swirling speculation regarding a possible move to RHONY. Given the recent success of the rebooted cast, fans and insiders alike have questioned whether Lindsay's high-energy presence and no-nonsense attitude would make her a perfect fit for the Manhattan-based show. So what does Andy Cohen think? She's definitely a Bravo personality through and through. Cohen admits with a knowing smile. Lindsay brings drama, but she also brings depth. She's built for reality TV. That's not exactly a confirmation, but it's far from a denial. The reality TV mastermind hinted that casting decisions for the next season of RHONY are still in flux, but Lindsay's name has definitely been brought up in discussions. We always look at who can shake things up in the best way, Andy says. Lindsay has connections to the current cast, and she knows how to handle herself in a group dynamic. Would she be a full-time housewife or just a friend of the show? That's the million-dollar question, Andy teases. Lindsay's connection to RHONY. Lindsay isn't new to the RHONY world. She's been seen with several members of the cast at social events, and her reality TV roots run deep. She has friendships with Aaron Litchi and Yuba Hassan, and her larger-than-life personality has made her a staple in the New York social scene. Her recent breakup with Carl Racky, another Summer House staple, was one of the most talked-about reality TV splits in years. The emotional fallout and behind-the-scenes drama fueled speculation that Lindsay might be ready for a fresh start, and what better way to do that than by joining RHONY? When asked if Lindsay's dramatic personal life makes her a stronger candidate, Andy doesn't hold back. Let's be real. Viewers love authenticity. When someone is vulnerable and going through something real, it resonates. Lindsay has always been an open book. and that's what makes great television. Shake-ups in the RHONY universe. Of course, Lindsay's potential RHONY future isn't the only thing on fans' minds. The most recent season of RHONY introduced a completely revamped cast, with Jenna Lyons, Sai De Silva, Jessel Tonk, and the rest of the newcomers taking center stage. But does that mean Bravo is done making changes? Not all, Andy says. The beauty of RHONY is that it's always evolving. We're always looking at how to keep things fresh. Does that mean we might see former RHONY stars make a comeback? Never say never, he says with a wink. People love nostalgia, but we also want to push things forward. It's a balancing act. Rumors have been swirling that a legacy cast might be making guest appearances or that a few of the classic RHONY ladies could be reintegrated. When pressed for details, Andy simply says, "You'll have to watch and see." What Lindsay says about it all. Lindsay Hubbard herself hasn't been shy about her love for reality TV, but she's played coy when asked about joining RHONY directly. In a recent interview, she laughed off the speculation, but didn't entirely dismiss the idea. "I love New York, I love the Housewives, and I love Bravo," she said. "Would I do it? I don't know. Never say never." That kind of response only fuels the rumors further. Some insiders claim Lindsay is waiting to see how the current cast dynamic plays out before making any moves. Others think she's already in talks behind the scenes. One thing's for sure, Lindsay Hubbard doesn't do anything halfway. If she were to join RHONY, she'd bring the kind of drama, humor, and intensity that fans crave. What's next for RHONY? Andy Cohen knows how to keep Bravo fans on their toes, and the latest RHONY chatter is no exception. Whether Lindsay Hubbard ends up holding an apple next season or simply making guest appearances, it's clear that the RHONY franchise is far from settling down. We have some fun surprises coming, Andy promises. Stay tuned. So will Lindsay Hubbard join RHONY and shake up the Bravo universe yet again? Only time will tell, but if Andy Cohen's hints are anything to go by, we're in for a wild ride.